I was wondering how you choose to balance around worlds. I main AD carry. My main champ, ZERI, got nerfed up to worlds. Is there any reason for this? ZERI was nerfed because we didn't want to see her in mid and worlds. And so, even though she was already a lower pick rate character in competitive at that point, the risk of a mid lane AD carry meta was too high. And so we nerfed ZERI for worlds to ensure that we did not see mid lane ZERI. The result of that is that she was not played anywhere. I think she was played one game, so not played anywhere is an exaggeration. I think she got played once or twice, but the result of that is that she wasn't really played at all, for the most part. But that was worth mitigating the risk of AD carry not being dominated by mid lane at Worlds. What's wrong with mid ZERI? Mid AD carry was something that dominated the meta going up to Worlds, and it was a big problem, and we were trying fairly hard to get rid of it. And ZERI is one of the characters who could do it, so we nerfed her before Worlds to ensure that we wouldn't see her there very much. I'm assuming that's the reason she was nerfed. I think a different question to ask is she's now like hasn't been rebuffed, so that would make the statement then that the team believes currently that she's in a good spot. Because sometimes what we'll do is we'll nerf a character for the pro meta, for Worlds specifically, and then maybe buff them back up later when Worlds is less of an issue. But ZERI has not been rebuffed, so that probably means that the team thinks she's in a good spot right now. You don't need to rebuff her? Yeah, if she's not being rebuffed, it means we probably think she's good where she is. My personal guess is that she's weak. If Zeri's in a state where she's not being picked up by pros, she's probably not very strong. What happened to Kayle? Kayle has been weak since we nerfed her items, and we've buffed her a few times. I don't know if she's still weak, but we nerfed a number of her items and builds and runes over time, and that made her put her in a rather weak spot. And to me, I think she's still weak. I think Kayle anywhere below 52% win rate is legitimately not the strongest champion, so she's probably still a bit weak. But what happened to her is she, just got a lot of the items that she's, reliant on aren't as strong as they used to be, and so she's not able to carry as much. She's a very item reliant character to some degree. Like, as an example, I'd say like Nashor's Tooth is a big hit to her because she lost a 5% AP ratio on all her attacks. That's a big deal. I think the changes we did a number of months ago to Riftmaker to remove the Omnivamp from it is a big hit to her, because it means that she, unlike other characters in her carry class, doesn't have access to sustain. When I say carry class, I mean like, if you're an AD carry, you can get lifesteal. That's a thing you can get that gives you sustain. And Kayle used to get Omnivamp from Riftmaker, and then before that Gunblade. And so ever since her rework, she's had access to Omnivamp, and she no longer has access to it. And I think that's actually a big deal for her ability to like feel like a versatile non-binary character. So there's just a number of item changes that have made life rougher for her. So she's probably a bit on the weak end because of it. And we buffed her a few times, but I don't know if the buffs were... I think the buffs that we did were good directionally, but I don't know if they were enough to get her into an ideal spot. Have you said in the past you guys don't like Omnivamp? Why not bring back Spellvamp? I think Omnivamp is better than Spellvamp. I think Spellvamp is worse for the game than Omnivamp is. Omnivamp has a bit more, I think, sensibility to it because it also is tuned around auto attacks. Just joined stream after going 16-1 as Kayle. Funny timing. So Kayle is not terrible right now. Like, you can still play Kayle, you can still win on Kayle, you can still carry super freaking hard as Kayle. Kayle still has one of the highest win rates in League of Legends in the late game. Like, very few characters compete with her. Like, she edges out Aurelion Sol, right? Like, she's very, very powerful in the late game. She's a viable character, you can win on her. I would just say she's probably still slightly weak and probably doesn't feel as good to carry as she has in the past. But I don't think she's like unplayable or like useless right now. but she definitely probably is somewhat on the weak side. If you had to give tips, how would you become a designer in Riot? Right now, I don't really have a good tip for you because we're not hiring entry-level positions for game designers. So, the games industry is in a pretty rough spot right now in regards to entry-level folks. So, in the current climate of the industry, I would say, I think as an entry-level person, it's pretty rough everywhere. But that said, though, if you are looking to get into game design, and Riot is one of the companies you could potentially work at as a game designer, my main suggestion for you is to play a lot of games and try to look at them from the eyes of a designer as opposed to a player. Ask yourself questions about the games, like why are they good? Why are they bad? What are ways you would fix their problems? What are ways you would improve them? Things like that can be very valuable to think about. And then also just start making some games. A lot of people think that you need to be at a game company to make games, but there's so many ways you can make games. You can Fortnite. You can make Fortnite game modes in Fortnite. You can make games in Roblox, right? There's a lot of different places you can straight up just go and make games. And so that is another suggestion I have is go make some games. Even if they're not very good, make some games, have your friends play them, improve them. That really, really helps because it'll give you a better understanding of the difficulties and things you need to consider when, making a game. So that would be something I would suggest. The other suggestion I would have about getting a job in the games industry, and honestly, this is any industry, a lot of people think that getting a job is merit-based. And, depending on the position, depending on the company, that can be true. Obviously, if you're, good at something, that's going to look good on a resume. But to be 100% honest with you, most jobs are about networking. The best way to get a job isn't about how good you are. It's about who you know. And so if you're trying to get into an industry, be it game design or something else, if you're trying to get into an industry, be it game design or something else, my suggestion for you is go find people who work in that industry and befriend them and talk to them and interact with them. That is going to give you two advantages. One is they might give you a recommendation, which makes it easier to get a job. But two is you'll be able to learn about the industry from them and learn about things you should think about and things you should study and ways you can get better. Having friends who do the thing you want to do is a great opportunity for learning. And so, and this isn't just about games. This is about really any industry. One of the best ways to get a job is through networking. Has Riot hired people who've main experience for making games as Roblox, Fortnite? I'm not sure. I do know that we've hired a number of designers who have made mods before, though. As an example, one of the designers I've worked with for years, he used to make a mod for StarCraft 2 called Storm of the Imperial Sanctum, and that's one of the reasons he was given. That's one of the reasons he got a job. Another designer I work with, he partially got hired because during his interviews he was able to talk about how he designed Pathfinder campaigns for his friends. So that's another way to get a job there. And so just noting, it's making games is going to help.